The first is, while I was listening to the first speaker, a question came to my mind, and then actually an answer came to my mind, and I want to present both and then have your comment on it. The question was that why is it then, if women are equal to men, which they are, why is it that all through history they have been treated badly? And even the Prophet ﷺ in his last khutbah, he gave a whole paragraph to this one aspect. He actually emphasized, in my opinion, on two things. One was treat women kindly and the second was no black is superior to a white and Arab to a non-Arab. So to me, that meant that this will be a problem that will stay forever, and I believe it probably will. Then the answer that came to my mind was that the concept of might is right. That is a concept of, that is a false concept of the ignorant. But then most human beings, I won't say men, most human beings are usually ignorant. It's just a few that are thinking beings. So is that the reason that might is right? They take it, and since they are stronger, they oppress because they are ignorant. So it's the ignorance of the man that makes them oppress the woman, thinking that might is right. And this will go on. I have another point. And the second one was about hijab. Again, I would like your comment on this. The way I view hijab, and not just the head covering, but all of it, the way I see it is to facilitate interaction between the two sexes. Because there has to be an interaction, and by having a particular kind of dress code, which, by the way, the men ignore, but then most men don't cover, but if the men and the women would cover in the proper, appropriate way, the interaction between them would be healthy. The first look is for the man, for them in the sense they are forgiven for it. So in the first look, whatever a man gets from looking at a woman is forgiven. But the second look is where, or if second look doesn't just mean a look, it also means if they start thinking about it, that is a sin. Now, what a man would get in the first look if a woman is covered properly, in my opinion, is nothing that would be called, and I don't, for lack of a better term, sick attraction, if she is covered properly. But if you are not giving him, if you're not covered properly, he could get an idea which is sick in the first look. And why put him through that test? So to me, I think it is to facilitate interaction in a healthy way, because there has to be interaction, otherwise nobody would get married and there would be no kids. And to facilitate a healthy interaction, we wear hijab, both men and women. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum wassalam. We'll get into all of it, but just on that issue of that covering is going to deal with this. This is just a little piece of information, all right? If a woman wants to be truly enticing, she covers as much as possible, because it's a proven fact that a man desires most that which he cannot see. But that's the same thing in the first look, though. It's not going to. What's going to make the healthy communication is if you remember to lower your gaze and keep everything else. The purpose of the hijab is stated by the Quran. All right, we do not do this to protect men from temptation, and as long as women continue to say that, you are belittling men. You are making men nothing more than animals, that we have to hide everything because a man cannot control himself. And I refuse to believe that my Muslim brothers are like dogs, okay? It's time that we gave our men some credit, that they don't have to have everything hidden from them, that they are strong enough to resist temptation too. This is an old Christian way of doing things, and it is not Islam. The Quran says why we do it. We cannot change that. Modesty is required for both, but the dress on the woman is so she would be identified as being a Muslim.
Now, to go back to your first question, I didn't forget what you said.